But
live now. Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Colin or colinbolts, and today we're going to be playing some Secret Evermore. So the file name is going to be Pyra, capital P, lowercase y, lowercase r, lowercase a. Alright, cool. So we're gonna start this run off by holding start. Oh yeah. Alright, so countdown's gonna be 3, 2, 1, and go. Alright, so we're gonna start this run off by trying to take damage. We wanna grab that plant, petal, whatever. Kill these plants. I mean, get killed by the plants, something like that. Anyways, we're trying to do Death Warp, hype. It's actually really good RNG. We're going to be stacking a bunch of clay, and we want to get crystals as well, so that we can use the first spell in the game, because it's going to be super powerful. Oh yeah, alright. So, we're on point right now. That was a really good raptor skip hype. Alright, so what happens when you enter that screen there, you get a cutscene where you have to either like fight these raptors or you can die to them. So obviously by dying is the fastest. We put the dog in the trigger, switch from the boy after he dies to the dog. The guy wants to see if we want to save, but we don't want to do that. It's slow. So we're gonna grab this nectar, and so yeah, we got two party members here. As you can see, we got the boy and his best friend, the dog. We're gonna grab some talons and stuff. You know, the guy doesn't need them anyways. Talons are a form of currency. So when you give a character an input, like the dog there, for example, and then you switch over to the boy, the dog has the opportunity to carry that input out. There is a ingredient, like the ingredient that I just picked up there, the clay, but it's a useless one. It's oil. And the dog has an opportunity to sniff to the left and grab that, but thankfully he just continued right, and that allowed us to skip over the trigger of talking to that guard. So now we're gonna go to the first shop. This guy's like, I'll give you the Ring of Jaguar if you buy some stuff, and we're like, heck yeah, because that makes you go fast. So we managed to route in just enough money to buy one of the cheapest items in the game. Now we're gonna sell it back to him because we need the money, and we can run. Woo! He's like, here, take this ring because you bought something. Cool. Alright. So now we're gonna go really fast. You're gonna see me move diagonally with the boy a lot. You probably have already noticed it happen. The reason this is, the boy actually moves faster horizontally, I think. Forgive me, I'm dumb, so I might have messed that up. Horizontally, vertically, whatever. The dog does the other thing because it goes really fast as well, but mostly fast in the up and down, and yeah. So we're gonna grab that clay there. What happened was I convinced the dog, or the game, that the dog picked up crystals that were on the left side, even though he can't actually pick them up. I don't want to save. Would be wise. Alright. So, since the game thought that the dog picked up those crystals on the left side, we were able to manipulate the clay on the right side to be 3 rather than 2 or 1 or whatever it is. I haven't actually picked it up in so long. There's some triggers here, like how with the guard, we can skip them earlier by attacking with the dog and getting him onto the trigger and then switching back to him. So, attack, switch to boy, switch back to dog. Grab this clay, because we need it. And we're going to switch the boy to aggressive stance, because we actually want to be able to leash him around like we were doing with the dog so far. And when he's on the aggressive stance, his ability to do that is much greater. We're going to be using that for a super difficult trick right here called Thrax Intro Skip, and it's works by getting, why did I go that way? That was weird. By getting the boy into, it's not good, getting the boy into the trigger on the left side here, and then the dog to enter the chamber. There's normally a cutscene that would appear where he would beat his chest and be mad, and then a bunch of maggots would fall, but switching to the boy on the same frame that we entered allows us to that was a really risky and difficult trick that I just did there. But switching over to the boy, we just start by walking left into the screen. And I just actually triggered the intro cutscene on one of the last few available frames of like his death animation or whatever, where the hard balls are hitting him. And it allowed, by combining the 2 cutscenes, I was able to free Stoneheart early. And you saw me just do a buffer there. That's because there's 2 versions of the outro cutscene skip, and you can either do it too slow and you don't get that text box skip, like the text stops during the animation where he's like this is his axe or whatever, or you can just continue to progress through that text if you get through a certain dialogue at a certain point. Yeah, so I'm trying to explain everything as well as I can. I might miss some stuff and I apologize. So we want to hold start here so we can just instantly buffer out of that spell. So I'm going to save, because why not? We have to do some precast here, but we're actually not going to do it on the screen. We're going to do it on the next screen right here. But we want to do some precasts because we want to level up our spell so that when we fight the next boss during the hard ball casts, we hit a certain level for a certain damage threshold. We don't want our spell to be too high, because if it's too high, then he'll cast a nasty spell that'll kill us quite often. So right there, by getting the dog into the trigger to initiate that conversation that we skipped earlier, and then switching to the boy, we can run into the village. And for some reason, walking into these different loading zones and then pressing the buttons allows us to walk to the top of her hut and initiate this cutscene, which is the cutscene we actually want. Otherwise, we would have to go and go through the cutscene of her being summoned and blah 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 slow, so we don't want that. So this is gonna give this Fire Eyes is gonna give us some hard ball or some call beads actually. So we're gonna use the call beads and the hard balls together because this is something I failed to mention earlier when I was fighting Thrax, but normally the game would only allow you to cast 2 spells if you're just the boy as the active character using Y, but you can also menu with X and Y. So if you are the dog as the active character and you menu to the boy, it allows you to cast up to 8 damage spells and 8 animation spells, something like that. We want to get defend there. It's gonna help us really break the game later. I was just trying to switch characters and leave the screen as fast as possible. Dog overall moves much faster in Act 1. He's like the fastest. So we're gonna try to beat him as often as we can. But it is slow to have to switch characters as well. So when you're far enough off screen, like I did with the maggot when we were switching stances, or the aggressive, because we had to earlier. You may have not even noticed the maggot or seen him, but there is a maggot on that screen. This is scary. This guy will not despawn for me. Dude. Please, let me through. Holy mackerel. That could have not possibly. Well, of course it could have gotten worse, but that was really scary. And bad. When the character, the inactive character, is far enough off screen, you menu to him, it kind of gives your sprite like invulnerability frames for a moment, which allows you to pass through objects. So we were able to pass through that maggot earlier in BBM, which is big bug maze. But we're also able to pass through these rocks, which is super helpful, because otherwise we'd have to go get a spell called Levitate and go up to the super dangerous area and fight this crazy difficult boss. It's a lot. But we're able to just skip past all that instead. So yeah, about the spells. I'm also going to be doing a sequence break here. So I'm going to be the dog, cast the spells as the dog with the boy, and on the final bit I can use the call beads because I can use animation spells. Stacked with the hard balls. The reason that I'm opening and closing the menu like that is because he will cast a spell that will do a massive amount of damage to me. After a certain amount of damage is dealt to him, and instead of the game that all the hard balls are hitting him like singular, it just registers the whole damage hit as one or whatever. So if I were to hit him a bunch of times and then, you know, eventually he's gonna cast Heat Wave and it's gonna wreck me. Anyways, he's dead. That's really good because that guy can just survive, and it's pretty scary. But that fight went very well. Cool. And then that's the first act of the game, which is one of the longer acts and more difficult, so that's nice. Got that over with. Shouts the doggo. Anyways, we get some more cutscene action. Just blows up the volcano, I guess. And then we land and we go flying, land in this giant shell thing, whatever, fall down this waterfall. Hours go by and then we just drift up the shore. You know, we're alright. trained for this our whole lives, after all. I think. No, that's not part of the lore at all. So, a little bit on the lore. What happens actually that you completely skip because we hold start to progress the game. Otherwise, there's this super long cutscene. So you get a file, and then once you have a save file, which is literally, it's just like you start a new game, like, or you get like your cartridge, and then you just play the game for the first time. There's no files, and then you have to watch a cutscene, and then after that, you just press start or whatever. So what I did there actually is another frame perfect character transition, where I brought called the dog in. So the dog is actually present on every single screen, whether he's in our party or not. He is always present, but for some reason on that screen we're able to call him in, which is super useful because there is a cutscene if we fall into that ditch, and we want to get into this town as soon as possible because there's a 15-minute in-game timer, and we want to exploit some glitches and stuff, and do stuff like watch the cutscene that we actually have to watch, at least for RTA anyways, while we have the in-game timer going, because it's only paused when we're in a menu or screen transitioning, or there's a dialog box that has an option like, do you want to buy? So we need those 4 wings there actually, because oh man, that was like one. If I had just killed one mosquito, it would have been good. Whatever. But I want those wings for a few reasons, and I'll explain it later because we are doing any %, so there's going to be some other thing, some game breaking mechanics going on. Oof, so I dodged that guy, which is good. There's these points in the desert here randomly that just, I don't know, the developers left them there. Not really sure if it was by accident or not. That one's a little bit more finicky, but when you figure out how it goes, it's not too bad, in my opinion. The other one is much more lenient, like you just kind of run anywhere in between the 2 rocks and it works. That one you want to kind of like hug the rock and you need to be running. So this is the cutscene that we skipped. For some reason, when you have to actually enter that cave initially, which is why you saw me go in and then come back down. But when you try to when you try to switch characters, when you're on the frame of entering that cave again, it calls the dog in. So we're able to switch to the dog, and since the boy is unaggressive and there's enemies on screen, we're able to tell him to go over the ditch if we're lucky. So we just saved. Now we're about to do the most game-breaking glitch, or both of them at the same time. I would say it's arguably the most game-breaking. It's hard to say. You let me know what you think. Oh, wait, yeah, I gotta just die. I don't even have to grind. I forgot. That's why I saved like immediately, which is better because I saved the screen transition. Lore. So yeah. So the lore, you end up, you're a boy and his dog from this town, and then you're going to see a movie with your dog, and then your dog runs off into this laboratory, or this mansion, and there's a laboratory, and you get sucked into this escape pod thing. Well, you fight some robots. It's weird. You should just play it casually. Why not for yourself one day? It's really, really good. The lore is great in this game, in my opinion. It's a very, very silly game. What else? I'm trying super hard to like catch up on everything that I failed to explain. There's just a lot happens super fast, and it's a little early in the day for me, to be honest. So if there's anything that you guys see going on that you're like what the heck is going on, please just let me know. I am looking at chat partially. I agree this game is extremely underrated. It's very, very fun. If you like action RPG style games. And the spell casting is great. So what I'm trying to do right now is get poisoned, I should mention, and I'm just getting very, very unlucky. And the reason I'm getting hit by that monk when I do run, like I'm running down and getting hit by this monk, is he casts or has a chance to cast a spell to you, Plague or Confound. And he's unfortunately not casting anything on me, which sucks, but promote the doggo? You mean like level him up or promote him? Oof. Or do you mean like name him? We could name the dog, but it's super slow because you have to do a giant cutscene. And we want to go fast. And there's a reason this is any percent. Hello. Nothing arbitrary here, one bit. Except for the fact that we're gonna kill a secret boss. That's it's up there. Doggo is. These spiders are not being good spiders. I might have to do some shenanigans here because they're taking so long. If I don't if I don't get this done before the 15 minutes, then what I'll have to do is, or the smartest thing to do would be to go get the Atlas medallion immediately. Explain. So right now I'm trying to do, I'm just gonna explain the glitch itself. I'm doing an underflow glitch where I'm going to end up becoming pretty much invulnerable and very, very, very strong. I'm gonna use all the status ailments at once, and the game's gonna kind of go berserk with this pixie dust that I bought at the store. And it's going to revive me with all the stats, and I'll be able to kind of just powerhouse through everything through the rest of the game. I do need to buy crush ingredients, which is why I quit when I was talking to Blimp after the cutscene, because there is one boss that we can't really damage. You could damage him if you leveled the spear, but obviously leveling the spear would be really slow. So you're going to buy some crush cast, please, please. Holy mackerel. Alright, so that's what we want to see. Confound is ideal. He can also cast Plague, which isn't bad necessarily. I need to die like immediately. Alright, good. How does one's desert skip? I might want to use that for a casual run as well. So there's two. Oof. There's two spots in the desert. The second one is kind of specific, but you'll know that it's between the two rocks there. Oh no, I missed it! I can't oh, that really sucks. So if you get 75 jewels there and then you pick up the ingredient like quickly after, it'll give you 75 of the wax, but I actually am just bad and I missed the pickup. But I was really lucky to actually get the 75 jewels, because you have to get a prize drop, and then the prize drop has to happen to be jewels. But I missed I missed the grab spot. That's so silly. Makes me a little salty. So I'll show you where the spot for the reverse or the initial desert skip is right here. Since we want to. Oh no, dude! I didn't want to talk to you. Get out of here. I want to make sure I have enough jewels so that I can buy the Amulet of Annihilation. So to do Atlas Spell, you have to buy this one ingredient, Amulet of Annihilation, which you can only really purchase through Nobilia here with trading, and then you can trade a bunch of other stuff later on, but it's a lot further out of the way and more difficult to do the trading later on. So since this is a marathon run, and well, at this point I would have probably reset, actually, to be honest. 23, so actually I might have time. I might have time to grind. So I want to make sure I have I want to have 35 crush casts, since this is any percent. If you weren't doing the Verminator skip, which you'll see later on, it's another boss that you can't kill unless if you use spell damage, then you would have to have more. But since we're only killing the one boss, which his name is Aquagoth, whatever, I don't care. Spoilerinos. This is a speed run after all. You guys don't care about spoilers, right? But so if I were to be too close, so if I were to have died immediately after a poison tick, so if poison had hit me and then I died immediately after that, then my stats would be way too high and I would actually end up overflowing, and I wouldn't be able to do damage to anything afterwards. So I should be good. Another thing is saving will act, so if you restart your game, you'll actually lose the state. That's it. You can die too. You can actually die if you were to sit there and take damage to the desert the whole time. It would eventually kill you. Maybe I'll get lucky again. Let's see. Oh, imagine. Well, there's a manipulation here, but since I already picked up that one wax, it won't actually work properly, unfortunately. That's not that big of a deal either. We just pick the ingredients up in this order so that it causes them to give us more ingredients like we did earlier. Okay, that's good. So yeah, we won't be saving anymore because there's literally no purpose. And right here we're gonna do a frame perfect character switch because we want to do some more precasts as well to make sure that the boss dies, and it's best to just do it while you're on the market timer because you're not losing any time. Whereas like if you were running around, obviously you would have to still pause the game to do the precast, but you also have to suffer lag frames or whatever, find a good position to do the precasts. So we're gonna do it right now. And we're gonna do 13 casts, because that should kill him every time. Right. And I should have a second or two, so I didn't see how many jewels I had, but I should be good, right? I hope I am. Well, so the spot is... Here, I'll show you. There's this guy. You want to avoid him, obviously, because you don't want that conversation. See this pond thing? You could either go up, or you could just go left. And then you'll see this rock formation. It's going to be this rock. And you just go upright. Right into the thing. So if you've ever played this game casually, you'll know that it takes like forever to get over that desert. We'll try to disturb the chicken god, anger the chicken god if we can. Alright, so that was like perfect timing. Yeah. Alright, we got the good cutscene RNG. There's actually cutscene RNG that you'll see there. The blade can either go down or he can go right. Going right is fastest, so that's ideal. Alright. I'm sorry, I just got like 100 million pings and totally threw me off. So right here we're gonna try to just, there's not much to really say. I'm gonna just scroll the screen a little bit, try to position the dog in a way that, like, you know, boom, ready to go. Alright. We grab the pedal and whatever that thing was to the left, because we don't want the dog to basically sniff towards the chests or the containers. So yeah. Oh yeah, there's FF6 characters in the crowd there. Top right. So, you know, Square loves to hide things. Some news with the claw. Alright. So what's gonna happen here is quite simple. We're gonna run up behind this guy. We're gonna hug the wall, hit him, he's gonna flex, and then we're gonna kill him. The timing is actually much more precise than, or whatever, like the positioning and the timing is it's a little bit more difficult than try to meme on it, but you want to actually be completely against that wall, because if you're a little bit too far, like if you walk a pixel down or whatever, then you won't hit him the first time and you'll knock him down. He'll run all over the place, and that starts to become kind of scary actually, because if you miss a shot and he starts to ride around in his chariot, you can actually hit him, and if you hit him on a bad frame, he'll soft locked. So the quick kill strat there is kind of important. There's a good chance you can get away with messing it up and then still killing him, but there is that slim chance that you'll crash the game and there's really nothing you can do about it. So yeah, just don't miss the quick skill. Now we're gonna navigate our way to the other part of Act 2 here. And I say the other part because Act 2 kind of works in, like, there's like two sections of the desert area. There's this whole Nobilia side here, Yeah, that's the rock for reverse desert skip. Also, I would like to note that when you're doing the reverse desert skip with the dog in your party like that, the reason I like held sniff and just kept him up there mainly is because if I had missed the reverse desert skip, I could actually just character select to the dog and then run up, and for whatever reason it will bring us all the way to the bottom of the screen. It's pretty cool. We don't want Doggo to take any damage, hopefully. We're gonna grab some roots there because I said that and then I just like didn't sniff. I believe it's actually a little bit slower to have him sniff in any given area, but you know, obviously we want to have him set up ideally. So falling into these pits is actually really bad. That one right there, if you fall into it, it can actually soft lock your game. The ones outside give you a minute-long cutscene, so you want to really just kind of know where the path is. The cutscene that you get, you end up getting a spell called Flash, I believe, and that's what you're supposed to use to uncover the path, but if you just know where it is, you can skip it, of course. So we got a little mini boss right here. He's push over, one hit. We're gonna be using the dog to abuse a skip right here, which is pretty difficult. We're gonna be using him to abuse another skip, probably the more recent skips. Basically like just super RNG skip. Yeah, see, because everything is going wherever it wants to. That's bad. You can lock the boy in position. It's a little slow. It's not like super duper slow, but this is like horrible. This is like the worst I think I've ever seen. Literally the worst I've ever seen. But yeah, since the boy's aggressive AI causes him to just kind of run erratically due to the enemies on screen, the rat to the left, which is more of a problem, can just run into your way and kind of cause him to go berserk. The dancing fool on the left side can also go all the way to the bottom left, which is a lot more rare, or if you end up walking over too far to the left, he'll be on screen as well, and the boy just has a really hard time standing still, so you would usually just use an Nectar, but whatever. Not like super big. And then we got the other skip, so that's like the new skip, really. But what we would used to do is just switch the dogs, or the enemy, the boy's AI all the way back to defensive, but the reason we stopped doing that is so we can get over that bridge trigger right there and keep the dog at the entrance, save the wings, and leave the screen after we get this kill. And we have to re-enter, otherwise the sound will go crazy. But that's actually much faster than winging out and then running all the way back. But unfortunately, it's kind of lucky if you get the boy to go over the trigger or not. Oh, nice miss, dude. Alright, so I came up with the strat there where we can attack down and he'll be in position. And it can save, I think, like a little bit over 20 frames or something. I managed to time out, like, at best. It's really hard and very unlikely that she'll get it, but that's kind of cool. And you know, if you just miss there, then it's, well, then thank you, game. But yeah, now we're gonna make our way to the pyramids, which is probably the most or second most difficult dungeon. There's a lot of RNG here, just like there was in the runes, but the execution is pretty difficult. I would say, in terms of execution base, the very beginning, the Thrax chambers, as I like to call it, or BBM or whatever, and just like the whole first half of the game, actually, in general, and then this dungeon are pretty kind of rough execution wise. Although over time you'll notice you lose a lot of time just by having poor movement, so you really want to make sure that you take the best path possible. These sniff guys have a big chance of blocking you, so you can either usually attack and you'll be able to skip through them most of the time, or you can just try to run left and right, which gives you a chance of skipping through them, which might actually be just as accurate. I think it depends on whether they go low or not, though. So I'm doing frame perfect character transfers while I'm entering the... oh my god. So that's really unlucky to get slow burn there. It's pretty slow. Oh, oops. So we can actually continue to move during that cutscene, like where the boy lift the axe. I got slow burn, so it was a little bit slower than, you know, normal, but a dog, why? So I got a good first skip there. We can actually get lucky and leash the boy over the second trigger too. It's only really fast if you get it first try, and it can be a little tricky, but it wasn't too bad. The dog was just sitting there far on the left, so I couldn't bring him over. Crumb. I wanted to explain something and I forgot. So we want to sequence break this, actually. We do so by menuing, and then he's gonna confound us. Normally he would come down and it'd be a big long battle. We'd have to wait for him to like go back to his base piece or whatever to start hitting him, but we can kill him before he does any of that by doing the little sequence break with the menu, just like we did on Magmore. Oh, so the event transfers. So yeah, by being on the trigger for like the bridge, for example, and then switching to the dog, we can actually hit those triggers with the dog. So this is the main reason that we keep the boy on aggressive AI. We need to get lucky here, hopefully, and we get super duper. Like, that is probably the best skip I think I've ever seen an RTA ever. Boy went straight over, which is what we want. Normally we would have to set the dog up a little bit. I guess that isn't really the main reason, or maybe it is the main reason, I don't remember, but that skip can be very scary, because it skips over a big cutscene where we end up losing the diamond eyes that we just got, but by not losing the diamond eyes, we'll end up saving like over 3 minutes in the final bit here, because we won't have to re-get them as you would have to casually. So now we're making our way back to Nobilia. Normally we would have lost the diamond eyes, and then this guy would be trying to flex on us and intimidate us, like, ha, I was the one that stole him, and now I'm going to destroy you, but we're just like, joke's on you. So we're gonna destroy him real quick, and mosey on. So there's another, like, this isn't really exactly frame perfect. It's got a pretty big frame window, to be fair, but it's a cool trick that my buddy Green Ambler, yeah, whatever, close enough. my buddy Green Ambler found a while ago, where we can put the dog up top there. And we want to keep the dog up top because he walks really slow. And at the end of this cutscene, he has to make his way to the top of the screen anyways. So it ends up saving about like a second, I think, or like a second and a half or something like that. It's not super big, but it's fairly free. There's a setup that my buddy Zeal came up with where you can use the left side or all the exploding bridges, which I guess is more consistent. Might be a little bit, I feel like that's probably a little bit slower since you explode more than one bridge, which probably produces lag frames, but who knows. I haven't really timed it that way. But yeah, if you basically hit the trigger, explode the bridge on the same frame as the fanfare where the boy's like, woo, we got the spear, then you can kind of walk around and yeah. But very important, remember to change characters back, because yeah, that's why it's not that fast. You lose a second by having to switch to the boy on pretty much any given screen like that. So like leaving Nobilia, if I had switched to the dog, it would have cost me a second. Oh, and then that's the reverse desert skip with a dog. You can also do reverse desert skip on the left side there of the rock, like I tried to do. I prefer, or the right side of the rock, but like running into it left. I prefer to go on the left side of the rock and I hug it downwards and kind of go like left and then right immediately at the bottom of the rock, and that seems to be very consistent. So now we actually want to fall into the ditch. That whole conversation and cutscene is gone. Madronius and Horus. I can't even remember his name for some reason. The guys that basically just gave us that super big cutscene after defeating Aegis, the weird head boss pyramid thing. They would be standing there, but since they moved positions to give us that cutscene and conversation, that was really slow. They are no longer there. What I want to try to do here is for rooms like that previous one, or this is actually technically all one big room according to the source code, but the teleporter rooms here where we need the dog to actually come because it's not a screen transition, we're going to try to let the dog's AI run him as close as possible before getting on the teleporter, just like that. So we wouldn't, in a no Verminator skip route, we would grab those, but we don't need them. We can only do 7 casts here of Crush. At a time. Because he... Is that right? I don't know if I might have miscounted. Oof. Well, it's a good thing I didn't risk it, because I did miscount. So he can cast a spell, an animation spell like that, Confound. And if you cast 8 crush spells, then he'll actually soft lock. Because the game can't handle that many sprites. So fight's a little bit scary. Or it was a little bit scary. It's not actually scary. Yeah. So this guy rescues us with his magical well and stuff, you know. The Oblins. I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, fine, poodle. Oh yeah, because your dog's a poodle now, you know, because he's got to change every single time the scene changes. Change the scenery, new scene, new dog. That's what I like to say. So this is why we need the Amulet of Annihilation, because we actually need one to purchase this ticket here. And the only other way to get one is if we went through that whole trading sequence where we have to buy a bunch of different things and or run all the way up to Lance's chest, which is, I guess, a backup, but you can only get one that way. You could trade a bunch of stuff. I don't know, would it even be faster? It's all so far out of the way. It might actually be quicker to trade if you knew what you needed and knew where to go to trade, because the trading thing is closer than Lance's house, but it's just a mistake you never ever want to make. You'll see a lot of people reset in Act 2 because of how much RNG there is and how difficult it is to execute. Good old Act 3 here, we got quite a bit of cutscenes and chill, and then not so chill. It's pretty much, it's the same as Act 2 actually. There's a lot of RNG. What am I talking about? It just feels better because you get like a chill period or two. Really is no cutscene breaks in this game though, however. This guy's like, oh no, the fierce Mongola has disappeared. So be careful, you better watch your back, man. Scary guy. First ever pig poodle. Or pigodoodle. Or something like that. Something like that. Pig poodle. Yeah. Our dog runs off yet again. Then we got Mongola staring us down. Very spooky. So remember that face. This pig poodle running all over the place. I think there's actually RNG, like, depending on where he runs, because that looked extra slow. Unsurprisingly. Look at that pig go! Whoa! We have a winner. Oh yeah. Whose pig is this? I guess that would be me. It's Pyra. Alright. So. Now they're gonna take me to see their leader. Which is cool, because that's what we need. It's cool, because that's what we need. This guy is really angry. He's like, ah, man, I put 2 weeks pay on freaking truffle trouble, whatever. Well, that's your trouble, buddy. Most important skip in the game. Alright. By running down at the end of that dialogue, we just skipped like 30 minutes of, I don't know, 30 minutes. It's a lot of running around in a maze and, yeah. Why can't he walk normally? Because it's slow. So if you've ever played Secret of Mana, you know how you have to wait for your whole inventory or your energy bar to refill, and then you can sprint around and whatever. In this game you can just tap B and it's actually considerably much faster. Also, I forgot to mention, you saw me switch to the spear earlier from the axe and the pyramids. That's because the spear is the fastest weapon in the game. We're going to try to use it as much as possible. And fastest in terms of movement. For whatever reason, you get 100% mobility. So there's a little quick kill here that we totally got robbed on with 2 misses, but by running up there in that spot and then attacking him up, it'll actually keep him in place. And we want to do that because the exit is right here, but that wasn't that big of a deal. So I'm gonna use some wings here because these guys can block you real bad. I think I usually use it on the way back, but we're gonna skip that. this time. Test it out. See what happens. Either way, you can get blocked real bad. Which is why earlier, when I was buying the wings, I was like, oh man, I only need like one more mosquito. Because if I had gotten one more mosquito kill, when I had exchanged my currencies, I would have had just enough to get an extra wings. Which is going to benefit us after this section, because we're going to do a big boss skip. Big boss. Not no little mini boss. We got the big boss. Or just, we just call him a mid boss, since, you know, he's not really big, he's not really mini. We're just going to skip him. He's alright. He's actually really evil casually, I think, if I remember correctly. Anyways. Yeah, there's not much to say here other than you can lose a bunch of time if, one, you don't know where you're going, two, if you don't pay close attention. You might see me trying to like cut these corners really tight, so you just want to hit the loading zone as fast as possible and not get blocked by any of the enemies. This part can be pretty tricky at first. Most players will use like a map or something, some type of key or notes to remember where they're going. Move! See, like I couldn't even see that guy was blocking me because he was underneath the tree branch. The background was blocking his sprite, and that stuff can just kind of happen. So this is the doppelganger fight, or the shadow boy. Not a bite off of anything whatsoever, ever. I mean, you could say Shadow Link did it first, but let's be honest, how many games had an evil doppelganger before that? Probably a lot. This guy gives us the sword. We don't want the sword, because it's slow. Just like that menu. And yeah, we're gonna continue to mosey on down this way to the second part of the Forgotten Forest. Ooh, it's very spooky. Or is that what it's called? Dark Forest. I think it's actually called the Dark Forest. I don't remember. Anyways, this one's much shorter, and it's a lot more straightforward, I guess. I don't know. I've done it so many times at this point that I don't... I'm not really sure anymore. Maybe this one's more confusing. I think it's easier for people to learn, kinda, because it's much shorter though. So this guy can give you a few patterns. He can sit in this corner, which is like kinda stinky, where he can come right to you and we can just hit him down and attack him immediately. But it's not that big of a deal. The next boss, however, is going to be it's going to be a doozy. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Oops. So we want to enter this and then leave this sewer, because sewers are stinky and gross. Alright. We're gonna wings. Wait, I forgot down. Run. And immediately wings again. Because even though we can't really see what's going on, we know what item we're on, of course. Okay, so we didn't get blocked too bad. Let's not get lost. Oh yeah, I'm becoming a professional at this, wouldn't you know? Well, anyways, we want to make sure we hold sniff on the dog there, because those rats can actually plague you, which plague is really scary spell since it just does not go away until you die or cured otherwise. Kind Cutscene. So yeah, we just entered on the left side there. Thus skipping Verminator, which is down below us. If we were to walk down, actually, pardon me. If we were to walk down, actually, after having skipped him, we would just end up walking into a bunch of boxes and be stuck there forever. So now we meet the real queen, even though we didn't actually meet the first queen to begin with, since we did banquet skip. But it's gonna tell us some stuff, enlighten us a little bit. It's a bit like, I was the real queen, or I'm the real queen, and I was from Podunk. Listen, kid. I actually don't remember this conversation, because it's been so long since I've actually read it. Said, call me Camilla. Alright, these windows look real cool, dogs barking at them. Then we have to fight them. Bam, you dead. Alright. That last guy there, if he drops something and you pick it up like immediately after killing him, you can actually skip that last text box there. You can just walk through, walk right during it, and then click to close it as you would in any other text skip scenario. I guess we don't really have any of those. If you play the game more and more, you, like, as in a speedrun setting, you get used to it happening though. If you walk over the guard trigger with the text box open and then close it as you enter the trigger, the same thing would happen. I don't know, it's hard to explain without actually being able to show it. Maybe I'll get a Tinker text skip. You'll go for it. Yes, I'll go for it. If I get it, I'll be able to show it off. So this guy wants to give us ingredients and stuff, but we don't need any of that anymore. There is a headphone warning coming up very soon, TM, or a sound warning, so if you got like headphones on, be cautious, because there's gonna be some uncomfortable at faces. So since we did Verminator skip, we're gonna enter this prison that we would normally enter another way. Do this. So it produces some crazy noises. Because we entered in through the opposite direction that we would normally otherwise. But by doing this, we completely skip going through this maze the first time, which is very slow, and can be kind of scary, because these guys can block you and drop things. And now on our way to the other scary boss. Or the scary boss that we actually see. Anyways. But this whole tower section can be, it's a complete pain. A lot of these guys like to block you and destroy your dog, and we don't want our dog to really get wrecked because we need him here with us. Yeah, he's gotta follow us up this way. Save the doggo! Now we got another little green guy here, and he's giving us a trolley. Alright, cool. He can just stand there and then go low, and when he does that, you can't really pass him at all. Come on, dog, no. You see our dog got blocked even. Oh, I attacked too late. He gave me the good RNG, so this guy can be moving all over the place. He can be sitting back here. So that's actually pretty good. If you don't knock him back, or if you miss, so if like you get too close to him, essentially he'll grab you and toss you down, which is slow. But that was actually not too bad. And you got grabbed like once, but still a pretty fast fight. Yo, what up, Elevated, with the awesome emote. What is that? Gold 8. So he gives you a spell. We don't need it. That's a pretty cool spell though. It's the one that we use to defeat Magmar, but we don't need the call beads for it. So this guy is gonna give us a save dialogue. Just press no. Navigate our way through the smelly sewer. Oh, I forgot to text my boss this morning. I'm such a mess right now. Rip. So yeah, this is the evil queen that we didn't talk to. Well, actually, we already got a taste of the evil queen since we were able to listen to her through our amazing telescope via Tinker. So yeah. Aha! She tricked us, alas. Something like that. Yeah. Alright. Defeated evil Mongola, as you may remembered from the Freak Show. I think that what happens there actually is that dialogue that we got after the prison and stuff. Since we break it, we do everything completely out of sequence, and we break the way that we do the prison and pretty much all of Act 3 by doing Banquet Skip. It gives us the dialogue that we would normally get after the cutscene of getting through. So our dog gets like captured or something, and then he runs away, and then we meet up with him and go through the sewer, the prisons, and I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. I can't even remember. It's been so long since I've done all that, but sequence breaks it so that now the game would think that we'd be going to, before I had defeated Mongola, it would have thought now is the time where I should be going to go fight Chest Knight, basically. So it reduced, even though I did have to go from castle to castle quite a bit here, it reduced a lot more backtracking, which is sweet. And a huge maze, which is like almost impossible to navigate. If you thought the dark maze or the dark forest, whatever it's called, was confusing, then try getting through the maze with the dog. To take all these air vents and stuff, it's a doozy. I'll tell you what. Making our way back to Tinker. Want to try to run diagonally as much as possible down these stairs, because for whatever reason sometimes you can just get like perfect movement. If you try to run straight, like right or left, you'll kind of get like stagnated by the stairs. Guy will just be stuck, like he's moving in sludge. It's pretty slow. It's noticeable difference. And Tinker's got another amazing invention here. It's a flying machine. This giant stone wheel and his Donkey Kong barrels. Potbelly stove. It's classic design. Definitely rolls deep. Look at it. Look at the acceleration on this thing. Oh yeah. Alright. So since we skipped losing the diamond eyes, the game's pretty broken, if you can tell yet. So we can go and we can grab some things. So we're gonna grab this thing. Go down. That's right. That's right. So we're gonna use the wings here. That's what I forgot to mention. When you use the wings on the part where there's no... Are you... What? Dude, the raptor just stood in the doorway. Oh my god. When you use the wings on the part where there's no... like place to teleport out, so if it's not a dungeon, I guess it has to be considered a dungeon to wings you out, then it'll say it doesn't work. But what's going on is the enemies actually can't target you, or they lose target of your hitbox, so they become like non-aggressive and just start running around. We do that mainly to prevent the dog from getting murdered on the way up, since we actually need him to climb up the volcano vents. So I'm gonna try a super duper 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 precise and difficult trick that there's a good chance I won't get, but I'm gonna try to keep the dog in the trigger to leave the room, switch to the boy, position him, switch to the dog, enter the trigger to leave, and then have a conversation on the frame that I'm leaving. Oh wait, whoops. Alright, so this is almost good until... I knew I was in the right spot and then I messed it up. I'm doing it, I don't care. Okay, so now I have the dialogue open up for Tinker and the black screen there, and I just gave him the diamond eyes and said, no, I do not want to save, no, I do not want to buy your ingredients, all at the same time. That was actually not that bad. I just get, like, it's kind of, I feel like the trick is a lot more nerve-wracking than it is difficult, but it is RNG dependent, because if Tinker just decides to run all over the place, which does happen, it could be very bad. One, you have to set yourself up pretty quick, and it's not that easy to set yourself up. Of course, this spider! No, where am I going? And I walked into another... Oh, dude, this is bad. Where am I going? I don't even know where the heck I'm going right now. I cannot believe I just did this. Dude. Well, I guess I should mention that if the spider decides to walk in your way and then you just try to run basically into him, you'll kind of roll off his AI and it pushes you into stuff like that. I've had that happen like once before, but not exactly in the same way. It's a little silly. And he can also block you there too. So the enemy AI on this screen, you can see why I said it's pretty scary in the early game. These guys are actually very, very, very strong for early game monsters, and the spiders can also poison you if you get hit by them, so that doesn't really help. But fortunately enough, we only have to make these visits, and even then, the screen is still horrible. It's like the squirrels of, it's the Death Mountain of Secret of Evermore. Alright, so now we made it back to Tinker with all the parts, since we already gave him the Diamond Eyes in the first gauge. And the game is very broken, so we're able to just give him the gauge again, and he's like, oh sweet! And then he just takes the Diamond Eyes on the final one. Because the game doesn't actually care which item you get. It just cares that you have the items. And then that's Act 3. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. That wasn't too bad. All things considered, that wasn't too bad of an Act 3 at all. Not at all. But now we're in Act 4, which is also R&D hell, so we'll see what happens. We're gonna try to go real fast with the doggo because he's got basically infinite energy and he moves extremely quick. We're gonna be using that. We are going to be killing a secret boss, so pray RNG for me, please, because it could be a really unfortunate experience. But yeah, we have everybody's favorite toaster dog, and yeah, if you've ever played this game before, you'd know you'd have to normally go through a bunch of stuff and open up these sleuths, like, you know, but by doing a frame perfect characters transition attack thing, so you attack on one frame and then switch characters on the next, and that causes you to be able to just enter the salute automatically. Interesting. So yeah, this code is completely random, as far as I know. Unless there's a way to manipulate it. 1, 2, 3. Place your guesses. What number will it be? I think it's gonna be 333. 221. Fair. Could have been much worse. Yeah, you just gotta guess all the combinations pretty much. And just hope that it's the first one. Oh! So this is Mr. Face Boss. You may remember him from Act 2. He is a major pushover though. Even in this game casually, if you go to fight him, at this point he is so weak. But he gives you 30 particle bombs, which is, you know, kind of useless actually, because there's a glitch that we can just have infinite ammo. But still, nonetheless, there he is. Oh. Completely not needed one bit. And then we can go and beat the game. Wait, which one is it? This one. Wow, those are really, 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 really good Saturn skips. I like both of them instantly. Trick I use is I use like a mash technique. Kind of like hovering in A Link to the Past, but I mash it super duper quick. Just use both of my fingers between the button. So this is the final boss rush. Time's gonna be coming up kind of soon. How much longer roughly? A minute or two. We're gonna try to keep these raptors pinned up against this wall. Oh, and hopefully not miss 100,000 times. And then this next set of raptors, we're gonna try to keep them down low. So there's gonna be a small wave of a few guys we've seen already, and they're all gonna be their metal counterparts, so they'll have a lot more health, and they also deal a lot more damage, which of course is not a problem to us at this point, but also note how they have the amazing final boss soundtrack. I killed the secret boss. Yeah, I'm doing good on time. I'll be alright. I'm gonna be probably 5 minutes under or something. So this guy is super evil toaster dog. We are getting amazing RNG though. He has a very, very, very high dodge rate. What? Wait. What? What? The spider never spawned. What just happened? How? The spider never spawned, dude. Was it because I killed Secret Boss? No, that shouldn't still be the case. I gotta clip that or something. There's a big metal spider that spawns at the end there, and he produces a ton of lag, and he just did not spawn. Anyways, time's coming up on the final hit here. This guy will jump a bit, which is bad. I want to keep him to the left to reduce explosions time. That's why we attack like kind of left there. He was jumping a lot though. There's really not much you can do about that. And yeah, that's Secret Evermore. Woo!
Yeah, you did really good on time. You just ended with a 1:21.08.
Woo! That was 1:21.07. My time.
That's called out too
not
bad
that bad. With the secret boss, yeah. It's not too bad. For a marathon run in general, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, like to thank everybody for having me. Shout outs to our view count.
Count is the best count.
It's pretty sitting at a pretty nice number right now. That's hype. So I think we have Rhea coming up next, I do believe. So that's gonna be real hype. Make sure you stick around for that. Oh yeah, Earthbound. So definitely stick around for that. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, make sure you stick around for the rest of the week. Got a lot of awesome runs coming up. Get your donations in. Make sure you check out that incentive list. And if you like the runs, then give me a follow. Play a lot of different games.
Yeah, free to post your Twitch channel in the chat. And we're gonna go into the intermission now before Rhea takes it away with Earthbound. 100% glitchless, actually.
Good.
Which is still the best category. Anyways, I'm gonna go into the intermission, so stay tuned. So while we're waiting for the next runner to be set up, this is Go. Yeah, we are currently raising funds for Go Rescue, which is a corporation or a non-profit organization, to be entirely true, that helps dogs and other animals to get out of the streets into new homes. So if you want to donate something for them, all them good doggos out there, please use the command !donate to donate whatever you can, like every dollar counts. And we also got a few incentives left. We've got a lot of bid wars coming up here next. The bid war for the player name, and all the bid wars for Earthbound now gonna close. So we are gonna move on to the bid wars for Resident Evil. We got for Leon's costume. We got a lot of alternatives that still have nothing towards it, so you can choose any custom for $1 at this point. And hello, Slova. Yeah, I currently don't have you on the stream, but I have my own mic on, so I'm gonna continue this for a moment. But yeah, we got also a bid war for the OG soundtrack versus the remake soundtrack, also to Resident Evil 2 combo. All these are of course tomorrow, or in like 8 hours or so. But there's a few things to check out on that incentives list if you use the !incentives. Anyways, Rhea should be coming up soon, so stay tuned.